How is it going then, everybody? I hope you're all doing very well. My name is a FIFA analyst, and today we are going to be taking a look at a game for Dullum Mike and Nicholas Razek. This was in the FUT Champions Cup 2, which happened a couple of weekends ago now. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be discussing how Dullum Mike plays the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. Reason being is I believe on this patch currently on FIFA, 4-1-2-1-2 is a very strong formation. With the buff to passing, I feel like it's something that you could implement in your game. And the reason why I've chosen Dullum Mike, for example, is because he plays the 4-1-2-1-2 in a very different way than what kind of a lot of other people play it, if I'm honest with you. He's also one of the very few pros that even play it in the pro scene. Even people like Nicholas Razek have moved from 4-1-2-1-2 over to 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, that sort of thing. Reason being is just that 4-1-2-1-2 does leave you open to counter-attacks, just attacks through the middle, just because you've got those players directly there, they can exploit the wings, that sort of thing, and you can't always defend the easiest. It's one of the more difficult formations to defend in. But the way Dullum Mike plays it kind of as a whole is he dominates the game, which you very rarely see someone do in this sort of formation. When you think of someone holding the ball, you think of someone playing 4-2-3-1, 4-2-2-2, around that sort of formation where they've got people wide and they've also got people in the middle. So your favourite sort of players for this are people like Dito, Rocky, and obviously other people out there as well. But there isn't many people that can do it the way that Dullum Mike does it. So if you look at someone like Megabit, for example, when he played 4-1-2-1-2, or even Gorilla, they move the ball around rapid. They literally take a touch pass, touch pass, touch pass. And they're always looking at trying to go forward and trying to outscore you. They're not bothered about how many they concede. They're more concerned about outscoring you and getting the win via that. Another good player that does use 4-1-2-1-2 and he's very attacking is someone called Lost in the Waves. So if you want to look at some games from him just to see how the 4-1-2-1-2 can be used differently, then please do go ahead and look at some of the games on there. But yeah, so jumping into Dullum Mike and the way he plays the 4-1-2-1-2, there's going to be some few clips here which we're going to jump into in just a second, where we're going to be diving in and seeing exactly what does he do differently to the way pretty much everyone else uses this formation. And one of the things that he does is that even though it's not a wide formation, he will go wide to wide to wide to wide. Watch the amount of times in these clips we're going to see in a second where it goes from right back to left back, back to the right back. He just works it over ever so nicely. And what he's doing there is he's trying to wait until he gets an opportunity where there's a little bit of a gap for him then to go through the middle, or even to possibly run down the line with his fullbacks. His fullbacks are a major position for him in this particular formation. Most people don't see it as an overly important position on the pitch. You might have your least amount of coins spent in those particular areas. But for Dullum Mike, he has to have someone fantastic there. So he grabs a goal with R9 in the 22nd minute, and that all came from a throw-in, which was on the right-hand side. He worked it over to the left-hand side and then back over to the right-hand side. It's switching the play up. What he's hoping that will happen is that Nicholas Razek will bring one player out of position. He might try and be a bit too aggressive in defence because he wants to get the ball back. But you can also just see how he changes his variety in attack. So he will be slow with the ball with Hullet. He'll play a couple 1-2s, that sort of thing. But then he will take a touch and pass, touch and pass. It's about changing up the tempo basically for Dullum Mike. And you can just see here, Carlos Alberto, his right back, and then Hullet and Vieira are kind of the key men that he has. He just waits for the opportunities to come. When they've got a little bit of space, he then does look to exploit it. Now, he will go through the middle when he gets a chance, and that seems to be when he has a pass directly into his striker that is inside the box. If it's someone on, say, past the edge of the box, past the edge of the D, then he might play it there, but he will quickly release the ball and then look to go wide and then come back directly into the box. The reason for this again is that if he plays a pass on the edge of the box to, say, Johan Cruyff, for example, and he's got players around him, that's a good chance for the opposition to win the ball back. They've got Hullet, they've got Vieira, that sort of thing. It's easier for them to win the ball back there. Now, as if he makes a pass to R9 inside the box, it's more difficult for the opponent to win the ball back, because if they do make a tackle and they mess it up, it's going to give away a penalty. He does manage to get a second goal. He then goes to 2-1 because Nicolas Razek does come back with a goal of his own. And we're just going to look at this here as well. So obviously this is directly from kickoff. I'd like to think this isn't anything to do with a kickoff glitch or anything like that. But again, you can just see how he's utilising Roberto Carlos out on the left-hand side, just waiting for the opportunities, coming back into the middle. He has brought Neymar on in this particular case as well. But he's just literally using those players in a key way. I do think Nicolas Razek is a little bit too defensive in this. He doesn't switch player with Zidane and doesn't put the pressure on. Gets a little bit fortunate with that, but manages to grab the goal back straight away, which is in the 78th minute, which makes it 3-1. That came from being patient. A lot of people there would have moved the ball around a little bit quicker. He was waiting for the gaps to open. I think Nicolas Razek gave him that with moving Zidane in a way which he probably should have switched earlier and covered the pass back to Ronaldo. Easier said than done in this situation. He then comes into the last, basically the kick of the game, and Nicolas Razek does manage to get a goal back. But you can just see that in this game, Dylan Mike held the ball loads and just literally didn't give Nicolas Razek much of a chance. But when they do get the chances, because the formation isn't the greatest in defence, they can obviously exploit that as well. So that's kind of just dove into it, just to let you know exactly how he does play it. He holds the ball loads, he uses the right back, he uses the left back, switches it from left to right, and just takes his time directly with it. It's a different way to play 4-1-2-1-2. Maybe you guys could give it a go and see how you find it. If you did enjoy the video, please do let me know by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Drop your thoughts down below if there's any other pros that you want me to take a look at and let you know my thoughts on how they play the game. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.